with you. We've heard from CSOs, we've heard from the APC. Let's hear from you now. The European Union's Election Observer Missions report about the elections on February 25th and March 18th. And I'm asking you, how accurate is their report on the general elections as far as you are concerned? According to this report, a quarter of polling units did not have a result on IREV at the moment INEC declared Bola Tinubu president-elect. And that's just one of the discrepancies the EU report is calling out. It's accusing INEC of allegedly breaking its own rules and undermining trust in the process. But the report goes deeper into many other things, and these are some of the things that we're going to be looking at for the rest of the hour, depending on how much the hour permits. We'll start with INEC because the report had a lot to say about INEC. So let's start with preparations. The report had a lot to say about INEC's preparations. The report says that INEC received twice as much money for the 2023 polls as it did for the 2019 polls. It also said that INEC received its budget on time. So President Buhari and the Ninth Assembly can hail themselves. They can pat themselves on the back for giving INEC enough money and giving them the money early enough. The question now is, did INEC use that money well? The report praises INEC for some things. For example, INEC increased the number of polling units from 119,974 to 176,846. That's a good thing, because we're trying to bring down the number of voters per polling unit so that voting is quick. INEC's guidelines calls for 500 voters at most per unit, but according to the report, almost 100,000 units had more than 500 voters. Soup was sweet, na money killer. If you want more units, you need more staff, you need more ballot boxes, you need more BVAS machines, and so on and so forth. So INEC is always playing this, what do they call them now, balancing game of creating as many polling units as possible, but still keeping the costs down. Did INEC succeed, in your opinion? Do you remember your polling unit? How were things there? Was your polling unit one of those with more than 500 voters? How long were you waiting for accreditation on election day? How long did you have to wait to vote? Well, accreditation and voting were happening simultaneously, so how long did you wait for that particular process? 0700-993-993-993 01465-7190. We've got WhatsApp too. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. How were things at your polling unit? Did INEC succeed as far as you're concerned with balancing the need for staff versus, ballot boxes versus BVAS machines, creating as many polling units as possible, but still keeping costs down? As far as this report is concerned, INEC did good there, except for a few places that had over 500 voters at some polling units, 100,000 to be specific. Which is why I'm asking you, what happened at your own polling unit? This report also looked at INEC's project management. They looked at how INEC handled voter registration, stakeholder registration, PVC distribution. We'll get to that in a bit, but let me take your thoughts, just small. 99.3, hello.
Hello, Sandra. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. My name is Yusuf from Ikoyi.
Welcome. Talk to me.
Can I start from the other topic to INEC?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let me first go by the Labour Party chairman.
Okay.
Saying Labour Party supporters should be getting ready for the run. Is the chairman is a judge? That's the first question. Sometimes elders, people that we look up to, will just bring a statement to the media circle to put people in confusion. Because he may have maybe another intention of saying it. Followers who have another intention of spreading false rumor. If he a judge, they are still in the court. The court will decide. Sometimes I feel some of these leaders, when they are not on the media space, they'll just bring something to put in the media space to know that they are alive, they are around, to tell their supporters that they are on board. No, now let me go to Lagos State about the cameras. Sandra, what is our digital sector in Nigeria?
Cameras, no, we can't get into that. We're in this now, so we can't get into that. I allowed you to talk about LP because that's sort of connected.
Hello.
99.3.
Hello, good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, this is Manuel.
Talk to me, Mano.
Okay. Can I make a comment concerning that rerun election?
Sure.
Yes?
Sure, go ahead. Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, as for me, it's just a figment of imagination anyway, because I don't think there's anywhere in the world where a president was being removed by a court process. Where we even have an institution working, talk less of this country. So for me, it's just a figment of imagination, and I'm quite sure that if guy going to be run election again, I can tell you for my own that Tinubu will win, because I've been in the North for almost 40 years. So in the North, they give their 63% of their vote went for Tinubu, and when we go to the North, they don't really care about Tupi. It's only popular here in the South. So we shouldn't say because it's popular everywhere in the South, it's also the same thing in the North. It's contrary. And then the way they vote, the pattern of their voting in the North is quite different from this place. If you go to the North, you see the whole, you see everybody, housewife, everybody will come out to vote. But in the South here, you see youth playing ball, sitting down on social media, all this and that. So I will tell you, though I don't vote for him, I don't vote for Tinubu, sincerely speaking. But if they are going to be run again, Tinubu will win. Thank you.
All right, Emmanuel, thank you very much for calling. Now, we're not talking about a rerun. We're not talking about, LP's comments. That was a conversation from an earlier conversation, that was from 3 to 4. So we're not having that conversation right now. We're talking about the Observer Missions report. That's the conversation that we're actually having on the show at the moment. That's what I'll prefer for you to talk about right now. Okay. Now, before we start taking calls, I mentioned that we'd look at the project management aspect of this report, INEC's project management of the elections, right? So this report looked at how INEC handled voter registration, stakeholder registration, PVC distribution. And according to the report, INEC was inefficient during CVR and PVC collection. But this is not news to you. This is something you already know because you already experienced it. But I think it's interesting that external observers are noting that down in their own reports as well. Then this report also talks about the training of ad hoc staff. So people like core members, university staff, the INECs bring in right before the election to help them run polling units and collation centers. You need to train those people because they are not permanent INEC staff, right? But the report says that INEC did a bad job training them. This report claims that INEC did not have enough training manuals for the sessions, and they didn't have enough BVAS machines for the polling unit officers to practice on. Was this reflected in the way ad hoc staff did their duties on election day? 0700-993-993-993 01465-7190. Then the report also talked about vote buying. It says that INEC failed to make a good plan to combat vote buying. Basically, INEC unlooked vote buying. That's what this report says. The report also says that this was part of a wider problem with campaign finance. We have strict laws about who can fund a campaign, how much they can contribute, how much a campaign can spend, what they can spend that money on. But according to this report from the EU, INEC did not make any attempt to enforce these laws or control campaign finance or campaign spending. And in the opinion of the EU, this allowed political parties to introduce a lot of corruption in the process. What do you think about that assessment? 0700-993-993-993 01465-7190. Hi, thanks for calling us.
Hello?
Hello, what's your name?
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
I can hear you.
God bless you, my sister.
Bless you as well.
I just want you to know that INEC is not doing well. Do you know that upon that money they give to them, Kosofe, local government, Adiketu, you know that those men who work for INEC, just many will never pay the money up to today.
Really?
They never pay them up to today. The people that work for them at an INEC, they never pay some of. You find out what I'm telling you. I reported to the sheriff this matter. He said they should gather themselves together and report. There's some people that never pay the money up to today. In the Kosofe local government, K2.
Okay,
Hello?
I am hearing you. Yes, I also
That's
saw.
what will show you the type of corrupt people we have in this country. Upon that big amount, people that suffer for them, work for them, mosquitoes bite them till the following day. Up to now, they never pay some of them. Do you know that?
Have they reached out to INEC? What is INEC saying to them?
They have give them all the things they're supposed to give it to them. They give them the connection, give them everything. The bank, they're supposed to pay the.
Hello? Hello?
You know that?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you, huh?
You see to it. You see, bank account and everything, they give it to them up to now. They never pay their money up to now. Find out what I'm. Kosofe local government at K2.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling. So we have people who have allegedly not been paid for the work that they did during elections. 99.3, hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
Isa Mustafa, NSF from Alagbado.
All right, talk to me.
Yes, with the little one you said about the European report. I'm a victim of it. Since 2015, I'm unable to register.
Okay.
And we put the blame on inefficiency. And they are the principal contributor to this kind of problem of inefficiency. They are the financial master of God. So as a result of the inefficiency, they fixed $10 billion for Nigeria without a proper fixed exchange rate. By this, they cut our spending from that $10 billion fixed capital economy to 3.3. How much are we going to spend on electioneering process? From 3.3 for the whole Nigeria, sector by sector, both the government, the private, and all the individual. How can we use 3.3? So they are pretending supervisors, they don't have mouth. They should be blamed themselves for that. We are human beings here. You are treated us like a third-class world. That you use money to control our debt, just like a tender. That means they are not reliable master. God bless Nigeria.
All right, thanks for calling. We've got a message here. Sandra, I agree with the report in relation to deficiency in training of ad hoc INEC staff and lack of sufficient manuals and materials. For example, there are 3 polling units in my area. 2 of them were sharing the same manual. Like the NYC presiding officer from the next unit will come and borrow the manual from the presiding officer in my unit to check a few things about the use of beavers. Ooh. Interesting stuff. Okay. Patrick in Ejigbo says it's really myopic and unreasonable. It's a really myopic and unreasonable opinion for anyone to conclude that Obi isn't known up north and that people did not come out here to vote. It's really pitiable and unfortunate, just to prove the human nature of naturally being resistant to change. Sandra, we must get there someday. All right, Patrick, thanks for your message. Mark from Lekki says, my polling unit is Osapa London 1. We had over 600 eligible voters. During presidential election, 371 voted LP, 21 for APC, and 2 for PDP. And over 200 were disenfranchised. Till now, I have the picture of the result in my phone, but if you visit iRev, you will see access denied. There should be heavy security for all polling units in Osapa because some elders use their thugs to cause chaos. All right. Mark from Lekki with that message. We've got this one here from Jeremiah Nikeja. Jeremiah says, Jeremiah, we're not talking about we're not talking about the reruns now. We're talking about the report from the EU's election observer mission. That's what we're talking about at the moment. But now, of course, if you would prefer to talk about LP's comments about their supporters getting ready for a rerun, who am I to stop you? Let's also have that conversation. It's all elections. Let's talk about all of that. We've got this one here from Chooks. Chooks says, EU Observer's report is a well-known fault and failure from INEC. By now, I don't expect INEC chairman to still be INEC chairman. He needs to tell Nigerians what happened to the billions of naira given to the agency. All right, Chooks, thanks for your message. 99.3, hello. Sorry about that. Call me back if you can. 99.3, hello.
Hello.
How are you? What's your name, sir?
Finally. Thank God, President Sandra.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hello? Hello? Oh, what's going on? 99.3?
Hello, Sandra. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Odu from Lagos.
Welcome, Odu.
Yeah, I think there is a rebuttal of this Buret story so that one be sure it's possible he did not make that statement at all. In fact, the sheriff had talked about it before, I think before the newspaper review in the morning also, and he discontinued with that story. So there may be need to clarify.
No, he made that statement.
You say?
He made that statement.
Okay, that's all right. If he did, fine. But whatever it is, he was also saying that he was trying to sensitize supporters of Labour Party in case there is need. But then, Sandra, whatever this story line, the EU report, any person that contradicts it, let that person go and bring his own comprehensive report. Let us see it and criticize it and then throw it into the dustbin. Thank you very much.
See it, criticize it, and throw it into the dustbin. Okay. 99.3, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
President Sandra.
Welcome.
These village people don't come again. For me, in my own polling unit, the INEC guy, another one was calling him because he didn't understand the beaver, how to operate that thing, right?
Okay.
So that guy was telling him what I want to do. He said, look, oh boy, what is going on? This guy didn't attend the training. He said they did the halfway whatever for them in that side. He said, look, you don't need to do this. Let INEC sort that person out. And for the EU report, they spend money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have say. We always pretend as if we don't know what is happening. And it's too bad. Nigerian factor will always come to play. Somebody say, prepare for a rerun. Another one was boasting. How do you think this man? No. How are you sure of that? Like one of the callers said, the INEC man supposed to be somewhere now, not within that seat anymore. President Sandra. It don't read, though, like Malik would say.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. 99.3, hello. Sorry about that. Call me back if you can. 99.3, hello.
Hello, evening.
Good evening. What's your name, sir?
I'm Chris.
Chris, welcome. Talk to me.
From Surulere. I just want to share a little story concerning INEC. In 2019, I volunteered to be an ad hoc staff for INEC.
Okay.
And we were trained, given manuals, told how to upload the results to the back server, only for INEC to get to the tribunal and said a back server never existed. And when I opened the manual, it's clearly written there, and I remembered us being trained. And so when it came to 2023, I told myself, if an organization that trained me on how to upload results to the back server gave me a manual that specified how to do that, could come to court and said a back server never existed, that organization is not worth trusting. And I did not volunteer again. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you very much for calling and sharing. Wow. All right, let me take a look at more messages we've got here. This one says, this is from Comrade Daniel. Comrade Daniel says, EU is speaking for LP. They're just following LP obnoxious, derogatory, and sentimental thoughts on the 2023 general election. Just to preempt the election tribunal judgment, EU cannot adjudicate for us as a sovereign state. Therefore, their sense of judgment on the election does not hold water. Okay. Comrade Daniel, thank you for your message. We've got Jeremiah from mainland who says, the report captured what transpired in the last elections. What else? Those who love evil should keep defending evil. I hope it will not boomerang on them. All right. Thanks for your message. 99.3, hello. Sorry about that. Call us back if you can. The numbers to call are 0700-993-993, 01465-7190. What do you think of INEC's handling of the project management aspect of the elections? How did they handle continuous voter registration? How did they handle PVC collection? Did the ad hoc staff you interacted with at your own polling unit seem properly trained? How rampant was vote buying? Did INEC fail to regulate campaign finance? These are all the things that the report from the EU has touched on. So for 2 weeks now, we've been looking at that report stage by stage. We've spoken to civil society organizations. We've spoken to the APC who disagrees with it. Now we're speaking with you as we go through the report step by step together. 99.3. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
Mr. Eze, calling from Mowe.
Mr. Eze from Mowe, welcome. Talk to me.
Yeah, what I just want to say about the report is that whether some people have said the report or not, all of us we go to the same market. Whether evil or bad, we are all the same in the same shoe. There's no problem. Whatever I will say, I believe we'll take it like that. Last time I told you, the only problem is to legalize gun in this country. You refuse. That's the option.
The only problem... Did I hear him correctly? I'm going to pretend I hear him correctly. Let me tell you how you can win some money.
Well, the way you can win some money will probably be right now to go to a bank and just punch in your code. But alternatively, oneplay.ng could be setting you up just nicely to walk away with anything between 10 and 50K just this night alone. And it could be you, it could be anyone out there, just so long as you put your hat in the ring to win this money. Now all you have to do is dial star 347 star 880 star 3 hash. A prompt will follow. The prompt would ask you to specify the number of tickets you would like to play from 1 to 10. Specify and then press 1 to continue. Choose your bank and of course press 1 again to continue. Then you will get an SMS giving you instructions on how to make payments. Follow it to a T, and just like that, you are in the draws. Now, for the draws, they will be happening on any of these three shows. What's Up Lagos from 11:15 to 11:25 a.m. weekly. Game On from 8:15 to 8:25 p.m. weekly. And the Chat Station from 10:15 to 10:25 p.m. weekly. Now, Peter gets to pick your numbers. I don't have to say this, but I'm just saying it all the time because you have to remember, it's not the presenter that picks your number. It's a computer that gets to pick your number. If the presenter picks, announces your number, you get to be the winner. But they don't have agency on that. So remember that while you play. Play as many times as possible to have as many chances as possible to win. The more you play, the more you get a chance to win. Now, this opportunity is not open to anybody under the age of 18. But while you play above the age of 18, play responsibly, whatever that means for you. Terms and conditions do apply.
Every morning is an opportunity to take your hustle to the next level. So, start every day with a great tasting cup of Nescafe 3-in-1. Just add water and enjoy the blend of coffee, creamer, and sugar with that rich, creamy taste you love. To help you start...
Just a few weeks after assuming office as president, President Bola Tinubu wasted no time in changing his service chiefs. And now that has generated some conversations. Some are asking if it was too soon and others wondering whether it was too late. However, let's find out where he ranks in terms of how fast it took past presidents to change their service chiefs. Coming in at number 5 is the late President Umar Musa Yar'Adua, who took over the reins of government from President Olusegun Obasanjo. It took him 14 months and 3 additional weeks to do that. Number 4 is the past president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who assumed office after the unfortunate demise of President Umar Musa Yar'Adua. With President Jonathan, there was a bit of, urgency because it took him just 4 months to change his service chiefs. Number 3 is the immediate past president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, who came into office with one goal in mind and one goal only: change. Or not? Well, it took him 7 weeks to change his service chiefs. Ooh, it's getting shorter. Now at number 2 is the current president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who assumed office on the 29th of May 2023, and in 3 weeks, he has switched up everything, changed his service chiefs, but even at that, he doesn't take the top list. He's not at number 1 because the top spot is reserved for the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, who switched things up on that day of his inauguration. Yes, you heard right. After taking his oath of office on the 29th of May 1999, President Obasanjo sacked his service chiefs on that day. Some others would have thought, let me sleep on it a bit. Let me think about it. Let me just ponder. But not Obasanjo. Well, it's fair to say that some like to hit the ground running immediately, while others like to take their time, But what is most important is that it doesn't matter how fast it takes presidents to change service chiefs, but how fast the service chiefs change things when they assume office. Good luck to the new service chiefs. And I am Yvonne Okaifo.
2,000 naira. Come on, guys. Join iMobile now or dial *301# to choose from our affordable and reliable data plans to express yourself freely on Niger's Confirm network. iMobile. Here for you, here for Niger.
Every morning is an opportunity to take your hustle to the next level. So, start every day with a great tasting cup of Nescafe 3-in-1. Just add water and enjoy the blend of coffee, creamer, and sugar with that rich, creamy taste you love. To help you start strong and make every morning count. Start strong, finish strong. Nescafe.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A teacher, a pilot, an astronaut.
Kids have big dreams, but a lack of iron in their diet could affect their brain development. That's why one sachet of Cerelac Junior provides 50% of their daily iron needs to help them learn to their full potential and fulfill their dreams.
A musician, an architect.
Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus. It's all good, Mom.
Jollof lovers, are you ready? Knorr Jollof Fest is here again, and it's time to show your love for jollof.
Get ready for the mouth-watering cook-offs, the games, and of course the different jollof delicacies. You've got only one job: to come enjoy it all.
Enjoy the best of jollof at the Knorr Jollof Festival. Date is July 23rd, 2023 at the Muriokola Park. Time is 12 p.m. Attendance is free. Visit KnorrJolloffest.com to register. Knorr Jollof Festival.
If you're on Niger's Confirm network, you get a super gift of 1,000 naira for just joining the network. You're welcome. 900% bonus on every recharge, 100% data bonus for 6 months, and double data bonus on your first recharge of the month. That's the 9 Confirm plan from 9 Mobile, and it's lit. So get a new SIM or dial *1400# and start browsing, sharing, and creating more on Niger's Confirm network. 9 Mobile, here for you, here for Naija.
Do you know who I am? Sure. You know, ask question. I be Tornado, a force of nature, the long-range assassin, the MVP, the intercept, the hat-trick architect.
Nobody does it better.
I am the breathtaking, game-changing left corner cannonball.
Fantastic goal.
So, make you sabi my name, because from the field to your feet, to the Hall of Fame, the game where you know fit miss, one shelle like this so. Know her name, know her game. Stream the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup live from Supersport on Showmax Pro.
So, we went on the streets to ask people how they love Nescafe Multi.
This multi, that's sweet, oh.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Whoever added malt to Nescafe is a genius.
The way the coffee tastes, they mix with the sweet creaminess. And the malt taste, it not get maize, mba.
See, I beg, if you want great me now, have a great multi day.
Well, you've heard it live and direct. Start your day with a Nescafe Multi every day. And have a great multi-day. Start strong, finish strong. Nescafe.
Moves must be made. My people just to work hard. Dreams and challenges motivate us. But sometimes, when the journey gets tiring, all we need is something to push our limits.
Reactor, ignite your energy, bring out your inner champion. Reactor, ignite your energy, bring out your inner champion.
Reactor Energy Drink. What you need to push your limits.
Wahala, Reactor Energy Drink. Push your limits, no dey tire. Your way, Reactor Energy Drink. Reactor.
Push your limits.
Before, their problem is say our shoulder too high. They say make we lower our chest. Now, they wonder why we know they ever lack airtime, credit, and data on top our glow line. Whether cash day or cash not day.
You dey mind their proco people for this market?
We know they call ourselves digital generation for nothing. Abi to get airtime, credit, and data, take sell plenty market every day, non-stop. Now your mates,
Whether cash is our handle or deal, we could just buy data and airtime credit directly from our bank account with the Glow e-top up.
That is to say, no cash, no wahala.
Yes, so cashless recharge on the go, anytime, anywhere, no stress, no shake, no wahala.
Buy data and airtime directly from your bank account with Glow e-top up. It is easy, quick, and available on your mobile apps, ATMs, websites, leading retailers, and Glow World shops. Or download Glow Cafe app to top up. Or dial *777#.
Why are they my first choice? Bros, it makes sense. No minimum deposit, small money, that's all I had to start. And quick withdrawals on call. Oh yeah, those payouts saved me sometimes. Click withdraw. Correct. But my main reason for choosing Share for You, I had plenty to learn. The number one thing my papa always taught was to learn from winners. That's what I do every day. You have seen me copy winning traders with shareforyou.com. Abi, simple.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and you and I are taking a look at the report from the EU after they observed Nigeria's elections. And I want us to talk about what the report says about the media. It also had things to say about the media. It says that the media suffered violence and the violent take it by force. The report says that in 7 states, media practitioners were assaulted on election day, including here in Lagos. Also, it says that in 2 states, police arrested media people for no good reason. It says the EU confirmed 10 separate election day incidents where journalists were attacked in the presence of police. It claims that the police did not act or instead arrested a journalist for documenting irregularities. That's what the report is saying. The report recommends that the media's freedom of expression should be protected during election season. The report doesn't end there. The report says that even though our constitution guarantees freedom of the press and freedom of expression, many of our laws actually contradict the constitution there. So, for example, this report claims that the government was using laws to silence the media. Specifically, it mentions the Penal Code alongside the Cyber Crimes Act and Official Secrets Act. The report also had some very strong words for the NBC, my regulator. It says, quote, several NBC decisions made during the campaign and after both election days hampered freedom of the media, while also attesting to a much needed reform of the regulator. Just before the start of the campaign in August 2022, only a court injunction stopped the NBC from revoking 53 broadcasting licenses on vague grounds. During the campaign, the NBC disproportionately penalized 2 national TV stations for live broadcasts, during which APC and PDP officials used inflammatory language. After 25 February elections, and the regulator fined 25, and after 18 March elections, 15 radio and TV stations for ill-interpreted breaches of campaign coverage rules. In early April, the NBC swiftly responded to an APC complaint, qualifying a live interview with the LP vice presidential candidate as volatile and capable of inciting public disorder, and enforced a maximum possible fine on the respective TV channel. In all cases, NBC did not allow for due process as broadcasters were not given a chance to explain themselves, end quote. That's what the report says. This report also talks about how the NBC leadership is picked. Because remember that the report says the same thing about INEC. We talked about this one last week, if you remember. This report basically says that it is not a good idea to let the president pick the leaders of these bodies, since these bodies are supposed to be neutral. Or at least according to the report, there should be some independent mechanism to shortlist independent candidates for the president to choose from. And then the report also says that there needs to be more independence. Let me read what it says. It says, quote, with no security of tenure for the management and the minister being legally empowered to direct the NBC, the regulator is highly vulnerable to political pressure, end quote. So those are some of the points that the report made about the media environment during the campaign and during elections. So that's for media, right? But this report also had words for other sectors, right, of government. So we've talked about media. Now let's talk about the recommendations that this report had for INEC. Now, of course, we can't go through all of them because there are plenty, but here are a couple of the big ones, right? For voter registration, the report mentions young people who turned 18 after registration ended, but before the election. Under the current system, those young people couldn't register to vote. So that's, of course, because under the law, you need to be 18 at the time of registration. So this report is recommending that we change that rule and allow 17-year-olds to register if they will turn 18 before election day. What do you think? Do you agree with that? This report is recommending that for those who will turn 18 before the election day, and so they cannot register because under Nigerian law, you can't register to vote except you're 18. If they are 17, but they'll be 18 by the time election happens, let them register. That's what this report is recommending. Do you agree? 0700-993-993. Then there's the issue of the voter register itself. Because remember We did the exercise where INEC published the register. People could check for their names on the register. People were seeing small Pekin picture inside the register, if you remember. Were all of those small Pekins removed from the register? We don't know. Because I remember during those elections, we had a commissioner of police on TV saying at the time, well, how can you know that the people we saw in lines to vote were actually children, you know? So were those pictures all removed from the register? We don't know. Were all those, what percentage of bad records remain in the register after cleanup? We don't know. This report is recommending an external audit of the voters register. They're basically asking INEC to allow third parties to come and scrutinize the entire register and publicly point out where the irregularities are. Do you think that that's a good idea? Should INEC open up its register for independent audits? Should 16 and 17-year-olds who will turn 18 by election day be allowed to register to vote? Those are my two questions for you. 070-0993-993-993. 01465-7190. We've got WhatsApp as well. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. And of course, we're streaming live on Facebook and you can share your thoughts there. Facebook Nigeria Info 99.3, YouTube Nigeria Info FM, Twitter is at Nigeria Info FM 99.3. Hello.
Hello, Sandra.
Thanks for calling, sir.
Let me. Okay, sorry, my radio was on. I've turned it off.
Yes.
I think if we want to go by the rules, then we should stick with the rules.
Okay.
You cannot be saying that at 18 you can vote, and yet, disenfranchising those people that will turn 18 by the time the voting takes place. That's a misnomer.
Okay.
So I think, of course, it cannot be on any side of any person. It is for everybody. That law covers both APC, PDP, and whosoever is engaging in that election.
Right.
Because I want to believe that they will have, voters, that will be turning 18 at the time of the election.
Right.
So I don't see any reason why any person should go against that. Then secondly, on the issue of transparency and ensuring that those people that are minors, they are removed from the register. In that case, subjecting the INEC register to scrutiny by independent persons or independent bodies, that also goes for everybody. Because I don't see any way or any reason why any party to go against that. So I think that is my point. The point is that those recommendations by EU are quite in order. As far as I'm concerned, I think every reasonable person should agree with that.
Okay, all right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling. 99.3, hello.
Oh, today is my lucky day.
It is.
Good evening,
Good
Sandra.
evening. What's your name, sir?
My name is Shile. I'm calling from Corridor.
Chile, talk to me.
Oh, okay. With respect to the age part, people turning 18 at the time of election, I think INEC should actually adopt that, because when you do that, you won't disenfranchise these guys that turn 18 and all.
Right.
But the problem I have with that is that where there's no record, it becomes a problem. Actually, ascertaining people's age. Then you will see people that are 14 will tell you that they are 18, but then we have to look at the brighter side of it, and that's the right thing to be done. With respect to scrutiny of INEC's record, I think the EU is trying to give INEC one AK-47 and ask INEC to shoot themselves by the head. I'm sure they will never ever do that, because they know, as a matter of fact, what has been done during the election with respect to all these underage voters and the rest. But then, if you want to be transparent, that's the way to go. Bring out a record. Let's look at it together. Let an independent person or independent body look at it, scrutinize it, and let's know that, okay, we are having the right register and proper, numbers of persons that should vote. But I'm not the thing is, they are not just interested in it. I don't think they'll be interested, honestly.
Shile. Oh, sorry about that, Shile. Thank you very much for calling. We've got messages on WhatsApp. This one is from Omale. Omale says, my greatest pain was when collation was going on at INEC headquarters. Dino Melaye was asking Mahmoud why are the election results not transmitted, and the chairman could not say anything. Emmanuel from Shangotedo says, according to the European Union Observers Report, Nigeria's 2023 presidential election was truly not great for democracy. And for INEC, all right. We've got this one here from, you didn't leave your name, but you say, I'm in support of registering anyone who will turn 18 years old at the time of election. INEC can request for the birth certificate of such individuals before registering them. Okay. None of these underage children registered was removed, though. I did my youth service in one of the northern states, and I acted as rate CSS. Sandra, you need to be there to see what happened. Sandra Chai, I am really ashamed on behalf of INEC just imagine the way the recommendations from EU were well spelt out. These things are not rocket science. It's just that some people are unwilling to do the right thing. I agree 100% with all the recommendations you read out. I cannot speak for all, but the ones I heard you read out, 100% spot on. Val from Aguda with that message there. We've got Sony from Okota who says, Nigerian laws are very rigid and our leaders are not dynamic in their approach. The EU recommendation on those who will turn 18 to be registered in between is spot on, but in our usual way of playing politics of bitterness, nothing will be done about it. Well, at the end of the day, a recommendation, you know. Recommendations, you're free to recommend your recommend. I'm free to ignore your recommendation. That's how these things work. I have to bring you information about how you can make some money for yourself. But before that, I'm going to play a video for you. An audio really for you. And I need you to listen to the story that this professional is telling in this audio, because that's what we'll talk about on the Step Down today. Step Down today from 6:15. We'll talk about this situation. Do you think that this was fraud? The professional in this story claims that she was defrauded, but people disagree with her that she was defrauded. So listen to what transpired here.
Let me tell you guys my experience of getting scammed by a bride. So a while ago, my friend shared my business link on her story, and apparently this said bride saw my work, loved it, and sent me a DM. Now this lady tells me that she would like to book a session for an event she has coming up and wants to know my rate. I responded and I sent her my rate card, then politely asked what occasion the makeup was for and if she would like to book the home service or studio working session. She requested for the home service session and made full payment, which I thought was quite impressive for a first-time client. On the D-Day, I booked a ride and I got to her place with the directions that she gave me. I set up my work too and started the session. It was from this point that the situation started to get tricky. Now, there were 4 people in the room with me. The bride, side note, at this point, I had no idea she was the bride, her sister, and her 2 friends. The sister was playing an off-camera woman, and the friends were seriously guarding the entrance front door, which was weird. And it was at this point that the red flag should have started going off in my head. But I thought, it wasn't that deep. I'm just here to do my job and leave afterwards. By the time I'm almost done and doing the final touches, this old grandma comes down from the stairs and calls her bride in their language. Side note, I'm guessing the grandma was the only family member they didn't give proper orientation on their scam the makeup artist plan, because at this point, it looked like the entire family and friends were in on the plan. So I paused and I said to the girl, are you the bride for the occasion? And she starts acting hurriedly like she needs to leave immediately and looks at me dead in the eye and said, yes, I am. And I said, why didn't you tell me the bridal job?
do home service. She was paid in full, but when she got there, by the time she was done with the makeup, she realized that she was doing makeup on a bride. And so she put this out on social media and says that the bride scammed her. When this got out on social media, it divided people. So you had those on the one side saying, yes, she was scammed. You have those on the other side saying, no, she wasn't scammed. She was invited for home service and she was paid in full. So why does telling her what the home service was for or would be for change anything? And then you had makeup artists coming out to say, well, bridal makeup is more expensive than regular makeup. And then you had those who answered that and said, well, she didn't ask for bridal makeup. She asked for makeup home service. So why is she coming out to say that she has been scammed? This conversation, we'll have it on the other side of 6 o'clock. From 6:15, we'll talk about this. Let's bring you information that will help you win some money. Yes?
Yeah, we're definitely in the business